Beyond the bonds of brotherly love, do you think there was something else driving Connie's need to protect his brother at all costs?
Something driving. So what was the last part of the question?
Well, beyond just being, the brothers and the brotherly love, was there anything else driving Connie's need to protect his brother at all costs?
I mean, I don't necessarily know if he's even protecting him at all. He's kind of putting him like he wants to. He just wants to love him in the way that he thinks is right, and he thinks because he loves him, he becomes a part of him, and then he's on Connie's journey. He just loves it in a very strange way. But like in terms of conventionally protecting someone, I mean, he opens the mood. Like I guess in some ways he wants to protect him from what institutions he deems as immoral and not working for him. But he's a very controlling brother. I mean, he decides everything for Nick, and I guess you could see that's protective. But I mean, it's really he's just kind of a narcissist as well, and also kind of it's a very strange view of the world. I mean, his ideals are not normal ideals.
Yeah, narcissism, that's powerful.
Yeah, I think he doesn't want to be wrong. Like if he's wrong, then
there's also another thing as well. Like Connie, there's a line in the beginning when he's taking him out of it's like, what do you call it, hospital?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they walk past other people in the hospital, and he's like, "Is that what you think you are? Is that what?" And it's like this kind of like Nick clearly has like something like which he's definitely challenged in some way, and Connie just believes like because you're my brother, you don't have that. And it's kind of, I think it's a sort of fairly, I've seen it in people I know, like you have a sibling who has kind of some kind of challenges, and just because it's so difficult that it's like, and because they're connected to them, they're like, sort of refuse to accept it. And it's a very difficult thing to accept when it's part of your family, but like, it's I would think probably not the right way to approach it.
I mean, I think that Connie, I see the world somewhat through Connie's eyes. I believe, I agree with him. I agree with his kind of animosity towards the institution. I agree with him that you can't change the mind from the outside. You can only change it from the inside. And the only way you can change it from the inside is through an experience. And the only way to kind of induce an experience is to force someone to do something. That idea I really agree with. Maybe the execution to try to, get that across isn't the best. Maybe bringing his brother to rob a bank with him is not the best idea. But, it is an idea, and I really respect. Connie has a lot of ideas. I like people with ideas.
It's true. He does have a lot of ideas.
He has a logic it may be flawed, but you can kind of see where he's going. And then as an audience, you're just like, you're taking on this ride, and you don't have time to look back. So you kind of. It's also like majorly part of the disenfranchised of America. He's definitely one of the 40% of people who did not vote in the last election. Definitely. His speech that he gives to Ray at the end, is he's a con, so he can't actually vote, but his speech that he gives to Ray at the end is like, straight out of like Libertarian 101. He's like, no government, fuck the government, let's keep it small, like you shouldn't lean on anyone but yourself, and ideally, that's great, but I think the end, what makes the end interesting is that you kind of have to have faith in the institution a little bit. You have to have faith in the system, because the system does sometimes have, good intentions.
I want to ask about the masks. Like,
those masks are made in LA. They are made by a company named SPFX. The government has asked them to stop making those masks because so many people rob banks with them. Yeah,
really?
Yeah, and the exact masks that were used in the movie are masks that, when we were writing the script, a guy in Ohio, a Polish guy, white guy, was robbing banks as disguised as an African American, and he.
They're just generic African-American masks?
Well, they're not generic. They're actually modeled off of a very specific person.
They're
who
very
sat
high. They're
for
very
the,
high
you know,
quality. They form to your face.
What person?
I don't know. Well, what the craziest story about the Ohio bank robberies was that when they threw the surveillance image out on news and stuff, a woman was watching TV and she saw this image. She's like, oh my God, my son robbed a bank. And she called the police and she said, go and arrest him. How dare him? And he was working at a restaurant and they arrested him. He's like, I didn't do anything. Like, yeah, right.
Yeah, there
and
wasn't
then they
even
arrested him and then
question.
Yeah, without question, of course. You're a black man, of course you committed a crime. So, I mean, that's like the movie, our movie is like is entertainment, but it's also like great genre movies that I love, is trying to be a reflection of the times. I mean, that happened. That happened while we were writing the movie. And at the end, and when, as Connie, again, he's playing into the fucked up ways of the world right now, and he's in the amusement park, and we're making a thriller movie about plausibility, and he swaps outfits with Barkhad Abi's character, and those two white cops walk in, and they don't question anything. They just accept it as fact. And then the scene immediately following is the only two people who are detained are two people of color, and they're guilty. But he knows that. It's actually that look that he gives to Leah is like almost kind of like, I played the system and I hate the system. You know what I mean? And like, I'm just trying to survive. And it's like, but the cool thing about the movie for me is that like you watch this thing, and people probably just be like, yeah, that's plausible, and that's fucked up that it's plausible.
Exactly.
And like that's the great genre movies of like the westerns in the 60s, 70s, all about the Vietnam War, Dawn of the Dead, rest in peace, George Romero. It's messing with race issues, and also like the suburban plight, people being zombies. Obviously, Night of the Living Dead, Last House on the Left. I mean, there's a way to kind of expose reality in like a subversive way, and that's definitely something that we were after. It was some pulpy thing like this.
Very cool. Rob, was it hard to learn the accent? It's from Vicky.
To earn it or learn it?
Both.
That's interesting.
Learn.
I earn is a good way of thinking.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, again, it's kind of, it's just, you just assimilate, really. I mean, I had enough time I had like 2 months, and kind of I had some really good kind of examples of voices. One of them was in the previous movie, and I just got him to talk to me a lot and read the script a bunch. But I mean, yeah, it was just good. A lot of the people who were in the world of the movie were around in the production office, and we were in Queens, right?
Long Island City.
Yeah, and it was just kind of, it's just time. And I just wasn't talking to anybody else. I mean, it's not like I was going. It was the first time in New York when I wasn't going to any of the normal places which I'd be hanging out in, so I wasn't hanging out with anybody who was really outside of the movie.
Well, these other two questions we kind of answered. So in closing, I just want
That's my style.
Okay.
Talk a lot.
Third-
I have no
third
questions.
shot. What's next? What else are you guys working on that we can?
For all three of us, we're doing a movie in the top of the year next year about the Diamond District, about the bling culture, the Bukharian Jews, and
Uncut Gems.
it's called Uncut Gems. Yeah, it's another thriller. It's a big movie.
This comes out of your own lives.
Yeah, our dad was a runner for the Diamond District when we were kids, and he had one specific boss who was just. We took his name for the movie, and he was incredible, very eccentric guy, but not like Jacob the Jeweler type. Jacob the Jeweler is the guy who introduced Puff Daddy to and music video culture to specific type of jewelry, and then he went to jail for like 4 years.
Yeah, look forward to that. Well, this rolls out next week, and then Rob, can you tell us anything that you're working on next that we can hear about, or is it?
I'm just about to start a movie with Claire Denis.
What?
With Claire Denis. Who is that? She's a French director who's like kind of legendary art house, kind of virtual by white material. It's like anything that anyone here should watch everything she's done because she hasn't made a bad movie ever. And then I started in like a few weeks.
And that's like an ex-con in space, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone I've yet to kind of figure it out yet.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody.
Thank you for coming.